Sometimes the pace of life is too fast. We've always got somewhere to be or something to do. And occasionally that can also apply to the hills. We can always go out and we have to go up so many mountains and tick off so many tops. But sometimes it's nice just to get out and slow down a bit. And I was kind of forced to do that on this trip. So join me as I head to the wonderful area of Glencoe and head into the mountains for a slower paced adventure. Hello, good evening. Well, good evening for me. Don't know what time you're watching this, but yeah, it's Sunday night. I've actually got a long weekend and I've been procrastinating all day today whether to come out. I decided to come out because I'm off tomorrow anyway and the forecast is okay. It's been pretty rubbish all weekend, but I'm knackered. I'm absolutely shattered, and that's had some consequences already. You might notice, I don't know if you'll be able to pick up, but my water looks a bit peaty brown, and the reason for that is I forgot to fill up my water in the tap when I left, and I need a cup of tea, so I've just been out for a hike in the dark for about half an hour, trying to get to the closest burn to fill up with water, so I'm going to boil that now. But I know I'll feel better tomorrow when I'm on the hill, but yeah, so I'm knackered. But anyway, so I'm going to just, yeah, I'll report back in the morning. I'm going to, yeah, hopefully I've not forgotten anything else. I think I forgot my beanie. I need to search the van anyway. It's a bit of a disaster so far, but yeah. Let's cut to me tomorrow morning and hopefully I'll be a bit more with it. See you in a wee while. So I'd been a little bit under the weather for the few days before this trip, and I was pretty knackered, and as you just heard, that meant I'd forgotten a few bits and bobs in my lethargy and milling about on the Sunday trying to get things ready. But yeah, it did mean that I was kind of forced to slow down a bit because, yeah, having no energy and feeling a bit rubbish isn't great, and it forces you to slow down the pace. Good morning. Hopefully you can see me. I've got my Teletubby look on. Oh, still feeling a bit puggled, to be honest with you, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Always, when I'm not feeling well and I go out for a walk, I always feel a wee bit better for doing it. But anyway, yeah, I've got the Teletubby look on because in my lethargy yesterday when I was getting ready, I forgotten to pack my beanie hat. So I'm going to have to keep the hood up. It's cold, it's very icy. I've had to be very careful coming along the path because all that rain yesterday is just frozen. Nobody can make out, it's all kind of sparkling. Anyway, right, I'll spin you around and show you where I'm going. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, look at this. Some of you might know it quite well. I'm basically between the two buchels. I've got the wee buchel over to my right and the big buchel over to my left, and I've chosen to come up this glen. I think it's called the Larry Garten, but that's definitely not how you pronounce it, so I do apologise. But yeah, it's a well-known, that sort of V in the skyline is probably recognisable to a lot of photographers. And that was one of the reasons I was going to come out today, was to get some photography done. I quite fancy taking some photographs because the forecast was for there to be more cloud, which might sound wrong, but you don't get that, well, I think anyway, when the skies are blue. It's lovely for walking, but not quite as good for photography. But let's see if I can get some photographs. And we'll crack on a bit further and I'll tell you why I've decided to come up here as opposed to the other plans that I had for the other side of the glen. So we herd of deer, I don't know if you can make them out on the right hand side of the camera, left hand side, anyway, over that way. Not bothered at all. Anyway, I was going to tell you one of the reasons I've chosen this walk today, and the main reason, I mean, as I said, I want to take some photographs today, but you can go anywhere in Glencoe and get good photographs. But the reason I've chosen this walk today I was going to either do Crulesta again or up onto the north side, up towards the start of the Enachigig, when you got the Devil's Staircase and go left, but I've done that quite a lot over the last few years. But anyway, the reason I chose this one is I'm in the shelter of the glen's, providing some shelter from the wind. It's to be 20 to 30 mile an hour winds on the tops, and had I gone to the other side I would have been in that for most of the walk. So that's the reason why I've chosen this. The glen is providing some lovely shelter, but let me spin you around and show you where I'm going. Right, hopefully you can see. Heading up here, that's not the top, the top's beyond that, but heading up into this quarry here, and then that's when it gets quite steep and quite icy if memory serves me right. So I think the spikes, I've got both crampons and micro spikes, but it looks like it could be micro spike territory today because it doesn't look like there's a lot of snow. So yeah, let's crack on, and I'll report back when I'm halfway up the quarry. Oh right, building up. A wee bit of sweat coming into the quarry, but it is cold, and I don't know if you can make out behind me, the stream is solid ice. Well, it's not solid ice, there's water running underneath it, but on all these rocks there's a very, very, very thin layer of ice, which is making progress slow, but progress is slow anyway because I'm pooped. I'm absolutely knackered. I think I must have a cold coming on or something like that. You know when you just feel like that? Got a wee bit of runny nose, but zero energy, so I don't know if I'm going to make it up here or not. But just take my time, we'll see. Still a fair bit to go, so I'll put you away and bring you back when I get onto the crest of the ridge, hopefully, and out the quarry, because that'll be the hard work done, and then I can start thinking about getting to the summit. Right, let's go. So I went on a little bit further, and it didn't go too far before I had to stop and get some spikes on, because there's a short slabby section which comprises some very easy scrambling, but it was covered in ice and very slippy, so to be on the safe side I got the micro spikes on at this point and then headed up towards the top of the quarry. Oh, this is just wonderful. That's me on the ridge now. Beautiful out west, it's clear, there's a bit more cloud further inland, but absolutely gorgeous, and I can see the summit about half an hour away, so let's go. Wow, well, these micro spikes are almost becoming redundant, and I'll tell you why in a wee minute or two, but you look at the bottom of them, that might tell you one of the reasons. Useless in this snow. I'm not on the summit, I'm on the first summit. I think it's, I don't know how you pronounce it, Stobclair Altrum. It's about 950 metres, maybe a bit under that. It's just wonderful. There's, I don't know if you can make it out. Every now and again my broken spectres are peering behind me, or the glories, as the clouds just touching the top of this one. And it's just rolling in. It's quite atmospheric, but a bit annoying because I was hoping to take some pictures. If I do take pictures, I've taken a few. If I do take some, I'll stick them up at the end, but I could do with just the cloud lifting just a wee bit. But I can see the summit I'm going to. I'll spin you around in just a minute and show you. I'm going to head there. I reckon I'll be there in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but it's absolutely lovely. So let's go, and yeah, I'll report back in a wee while. The distances involved from here to the summit weren't great. It was a short stroll, that's the top just there. But it was so nice, the views out west were lovely. So I just took my time and took it all in. Took some photos and got some time lapse. It was just a lovely day to be up high. After taking my time and a wee donder along the snowy ridge, I was soon approaching the summit of the Munro. Here we are, the summit of the Munro. Stobclair Broiga, I think it's called, which is something to do with the shoe. I don't know, summit of the shoe or heel of the shoe, or I should really have done more research, but it's lovely. I think I've been quite lucky. Oh, there's a big kite there, just hovering. or some sort of bird of prey or raptor. Anyway, I thought it was a helicopter, but I thought, why can't I hear the blades? Anyway, I think I've been quite lucky because all the summits kind of round about me are covered in cloud. All the Glen Etive ones back towards Storb Gerarg, even now behind me, behind Starav, I don't know if you can make that out. It's just the clouds just getting in, but I have got no cloud here, so don't expect that to last, but for now I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to sit here, have a bite to eat, and I'll bring you back. Maybe take some pictures from time lapse, all that sort of stuff, and yeah, I'll bring you back in a wee while. But what a fabulous day, absolutely beautiful. Right, let's get something to eat. So I sat and had a bite to eat, and then I just sat and took in the amazing views. What a place to be. The clouds kind of come in a wee bit now. It's engulfed me. I'm hanging it around because there's no rush, but yeah, a wee bit of misty. Just getting glimpses of the mountains now. So I might hang around for a wee while longer and then maybe head back down, get back to the van, have a coffee, have a bite to eat. I have to be careful though going down. So what I was talking about, don't know if you can see if I put my shoes down. I took the camera down here. Well, it's not quite so bad now, but just with that wee bit of snow higher up, the micro spikes were balling up. Now it was fine because I was on the ridge and there was no steep ground, but had I been going down steep ground, a big lump of ice on the bottom of my boot isn't ideal, so I'll just have to be careful going down. I do definitely need them. There's some rocky steps just before the point where I put them on coming up on the path down, so I need them for going down, but there was less snow in the quarry, so it wasn't as much of an issue. It was more icy, whereas the snow up here had just balled up. So anyway, let's hang around for 5 or 6 more minutes. I have taken some pictures. I'll put them up at the end of the video if they're any good, or maybe some just now. And yeah, whether I'll get a chance to take any more with this fog coming in, I'm not sure. Yeah, what a place. So I'm glad I've come up today. And off we go. Throw my pulls of it. Let's go. Oh, right, let's go. Forgot to say, it's slightly different to the last time I was here 6 months ago. I was sat down there sunbathing and then going for a paddle. I'll certainly not be doing that today. Right, let's go. That's lovely. I'm just taking my time. I think that's another advantage of just doing that. I could do 4 peaks along this ridge, but because I've just chosen to do a couple, I just take my time. There's not much daylight at this time of year. We're not far from the longest night, so it's nice just to be able to take my time and slow down as opposed to rushing and worrying about getting back before it was dark. But anyway, onwards we go. This is a lovely ridge to go along. Going to have a seat here and absolutely no rush. I think it's just lovely. The clouds kind of coming and going, but there's not as much wind as I was forecast. It's definitely not 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. In fact, at the moment, right in this point here, there's hardly any wind. The ridge was catching it a wee bit, but even then it wasn't that strong. So anyway, Yeah, I think feeling pretty rubbish has actually helped forced me to slow down today, and it's just been wonderful. It's one of those days. Although it's not completely clear, it's just very atmospheric, and like I was saying before, I don't think the photographs would be nearly as good. Well, I don't know if they're good or not anyway, but you'll be able to judge them at the end. But maybe the fact that there's more cloud gives it a wee bit more atmosphere, and as opposed to just blue skies. But I'm going to sit here for a bit longer and just see what happens. It feels like the cloud might lower, I don't know. But although I could do a coffee. A coffee with that peaty water that I collected from the stream last night. What a place though. What a place. After lingering on that summit for quite some time, it was eventually time to get down and get back to the van for that coffee. So I set about heading back down the ridge and heading back into the quarry and then back down into the glen towards the van. Right, that's me down off the steep part. Didn't film too much. Had to keep my wits about me, especially on those steep sections. A bit scrambling there, and I kept my micro spikes on. Although it's for the most part defrosted down here, there were still some patches of ice, plus the grass. When I was on it was really steep, and the micro spikes always help with that as well. So let's get these off, and yeah, I'll report back in a wee while. You know you're getting old when you're struggling to get your spikes off. Next stop, the van. Another hours to go, I think. Right, let's go. Oh, right. Well, hopefully you've made it this far. Thank you very much if you have. It's been a great wee adventure. I've just got all the engines on, demisting the condensation off the front of the windscreen. So hopefully you can hear me okay. But yeah, I feel a lot better now than I did, and I knew I'd feel better for going out than I did last night and before I left this morning. It was really nice. It wasn't too much of a exerting hike. Just up the One Monroe, and it was nice to be able to slow right down and just take it all in and take some pictures and really enjoy it, which is what I did. But yeah, I need to go home now, so I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next adventure. Right, homewards bound.